Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
What do you get when you mix two white boys, both named Mike? A thing for Justin Timberlake and a piercing above your eye. Was he high? Their stories alone could make you cry. That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
What is the snapping doing?
Giving Alex a sound time to link them up.
Snapping 40 times in a row is going to
in different ways, too. Like you snapped for a couple of seconds, I snapped for a couple of seconds.
I thought it was one sheer clap.
It should be.
You didn't clap at all.
I know, because I refused, because you did 16 snaps. I didn't understand what was happening.
He did. Then Brendan came in and did another
did like
6.
4 or 5, yeah.
Alex, do you need a clap?
Alex already has the clap.
Alex left.
She's negotiating her contracts with Gas Digital.
She's like, listen, guys, I'll stay, but I need to be taking off Irish Goodbye immediately.
Yeah.
Between these kids wanting to tweet every week for their episode and then the horseshit snaps to start this thing, it's a nightmare. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Irish Goodbye podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Cannon. With me, as always,
it's Mike Feeney, and here we are. We're virtually back on the interwebs doing a show. And Mike, that you can lead in why we are.
Buddy, it's not my goddamn fault. I'm not living irresponsibly. There's just some wild people in my family that I lived with that just, went to a maskless soiree and started, opened a kissing booth in the middle of the floor. So I'm here. I fled. I'm upstate. I'm hanging out. I'm about 2 hours outside of the city. I couldn't drive in and out. But we'll be back in full effect next week. So very excited about that. But this also gives us the power to potentially end or elongate, depending on how these videos come in, the Bachelor, Brendan Sagalow, our guest this week again.
Hey, I don't know if we should elongate it because it's going to get shorter and shorter. Like submissions are just going to not happen more and more.
I'm all for putting a nice little bow on this.
Yeah, let's. I'm getting nervous every week.
I want to run this till our 400th episode.
Can I also say no one but us is funny? Oh, and KP, because if any comic, we've been doing this for so many weeks. I can't believe only KP is the only person that sent in a fake video.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. There's enough young comics that listen to the show that tell me, at least to my face, that they listen and they enjoy it. And it's like, hey, man, you could get a credit.
Yeah, be funny. Take a risk.
Take a risk. Try to suck off Brendan.
Yeah, I'll take it.
He will, and I will.
Okay.
Do it.
Dude, can I tell you guys really briefly before, obviously we have some schmootzing time to pad before we get into the Bachelor stuff. But of course, yesterday when I get here, I meticulously packed and got all of my recording equipment done. I packed up the day before we were leaving. I even pre-boxed everything, wrapped up every single cord, got everything completely meticulously ready. And then I get up here and of course I don't have the cord that attaches my Zoom to my computer. That's the one fucking cord that I have. And of course, that's like the most outdated cord of the entire interface. It's not a USB mini. It's like a little bit bigger than that. It's like what used to charge the old PlayStation 3 controllers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, diving through my brother-in-law's cord box, which is so vast, it's insane. And I find one, and then I plug my Zoom into it. I connect it to my computer. It shows that it's charging, but it won't mount on my computer. So it's like this. It's a huge fucking problem. Immediately, I start calling places. I'm like, all right, I'll go to Walmart. I'll go to whatever. And my family's like, listen, like that's kind of a hike. It's a little bit of a drive. It's like 30 minutes in the car to get there. So you might want to check the availability of the product to see if they have it. Of course, Walmart doesn't have it. Target doesn't have it. So I start calling the mom and pop, both music and electronic stores around here. And one guy goes, oh, dude, no, we don't have that. Your best bet is probably Amazon. And I'm like, way to put yourself out of business, you fucking yokel moron.
Yeah.
I've had so many people recommend Amazon I called a Best Buy for some reason that I needed something, and they were like, "Nah, man, you ain't gonna find it here. Amazon's is the move." And I'm like,
but even that I understand, because Best Buy can weather you going to another outlet. These fucking Frank's wires and things. He can't figure. He has to sell as many $7 cords as humanly possible. So I yell at that guy because I'm frustrated, and I take my day out on him for no reason. I hang up the phone. I check out Staples, their online thing. It looked like they may have a version of what I had, and I said, fuck it, I'm driving anyway. I go to Staples, and it's upstate, so it's just like everybody
Staples.
I was just about to say that, and it feels bad that I didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, ow.
I mean, it should feel worse that you admitted that you couldn't eat feet to the bad joke.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the problem. My head was going, do I say this? Do I not say this? I was just letting the train go by.
Yeah, just trying to figure out which car to jump on. You're Michael Scott. So I go in there, and I don't know if you guys are upstate, if you've been to the barrenness of upstate New York recently, but everybody's got baggy fucking pajama pants with open-toed sandals and a winter coat and a mask that's like hanging over half their lips.
Oh, dude, it's brutal.
You've never seen such like disgusting winter animals in your entire life. Like, just truly not. Even though they've lived here forever, they're not fully prepared for the weather somehow. It's preposterous. So I'm trying to bob and weave through mutants, and I get into Staples, and some lady with literally tattooed eyebrows who was extremely sweet, but she was helping some walrus, and that lady was like, "What's the difference between corded wires and the smooth ones? And is there a sale on the?" And it was like, it's in front of you, lady. The 6 choices that you have are right fucking in front of you. Just read the price, figure it out. So I literally had to stand 8 feet away from these two mongos that are just batting back prices and cord theory at each other. And finally, painted on brow turns, she's done, and she goes, "Hi, can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm looking for this. I brought my Zoom with me." I was like, "I'm looking for this to USB. Can you please, show me in the right direction if you have it?" And she's like, "I think we do." She took me over to a bunch of cords, and I get there and I find it, right? I'm like, "Oh shit, this is great. I found it." And she was like, "Nah, I don't think that's it." And I'm like, "Really? Because it looks like it fits exact. Can I pull it out? Can I pop it out?" And she's like, "Nah, you can't open these boxes, because once you open them, that's it." And I was like, "I don't know if that's a rule in any establishment, but let's pretend. Okay, whatever." I was like, "Is there anybody that I can how do you know that it's not fit?" She's like, "Well, it looks like there's 6 she had like a southern upstate New York accent somehow. She's like, "It looks like there's 6 prongs in this as opposed to the 5 that you have, so I don't really know. Go talk to Fletcher over there. He's the one that deals with more tech stuff. He kind of knows exactly what he's doing." So I walk over to Fletcher, who looks like kind of like, yeah.
Can I just say real quick, it is very strange how, if you're not in New York or LA, you just somehow have a southern accent. Like every other person in the country. Like, we were just in Connecticut, and people are like, "Howdy, y'all." Like, what?
I think it's a thing that only we hear, because it's like you relate like southern with intelligence. You know what I mean? Or
maybe.
Of. So it's just like anybody that's not in New York or fucking LA, people are like,
"Is that weird?" Wow, that's like eardrum to brain cognitive bias.
Yeah,
yes.
They might not even sound like that. We're just like, "Yeah, rah, rah, rah. No one understands you, she-bear."
You know what's weird is every time I talk to a person with a very visible mental disability, they always sound southern.
Oh shit!
I know. I almost tried to do a southern retarded accent, and I was
it's
like,
hard. I tried to do it too. I was like, kind of hurt my brain.
Howdy, partner. Howdy.
Once around the rodeo.
Let's raise and rope some broncos.
I dug my key into the side.
Do you have any Cheerios? So I'm, I walk away from this guy. Fletcher looks pissed already, and he kind of lazily, waves me over. And I'm like, "Hey man, I just want to know, is this going to fit into this?" And he goes, "Yeah, don't mind her. She's retarded."
He said that?
He said she's retarded.
That's awesome.
And I go, all right. I just got in line, got it, and of course it worked because she was retarded.
She's like, you should try French fries.
Have you tried a Frosty?
It was all the tattoo ink from her eyebrows that seeped into her brain.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, who's out there retarding? Or I mean,
Retarding.
tattooing retarded people. Who's out there retarding tattooings?
Dude, I want to see someone who's like retarded with like a full thing of body tattoos, like up his neck and shit. That'd be fucking cool.
I mean, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it just says "Don't touch my ears," just on his neck.
Yeah, that's fine. But now the cord actually works, and I'm really happy. This internet is better than anything I got back at Nicole's mom. So it's like I should stay here for good. I'd be the king of this place.
Your brother-in-law's like, wait a minute. he heard that. Wait a minute. Do I have to fight this guy?
Yeah, he's in the other room, literally 3D mapping cities with math, and I'm like, I'd be the king of this place.
I'm doing an impression of a retarded Southerner.
A Southerner from upstate New York. Don't worry about the logic.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So should we just start getting into it?
Do you want to immediately do it?
I
Or
thought
are we
we
going to
were
save
the
it for the
second
back
half.
half? Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Are you in a good mood, Feeney? I feel like you're low energy and not happy.
No, none of that. Don't project that onto me at all.
I'm not projecting. I'm just reading your vibe. Same as Brendan's last night. This is, you know what? Never mind. Forget it. This is how we get in trouble. We just take cues from each other's behavior and then ask about it, and then we fight.
Look, we're all complicated humans. You know what I mean? You can't solve our problems right away. You have
Right,
to-
but you can talk them out as friends.
That's true.
But
That's
never
true.
mind. This is, of course, the Irish Goodbye podcast, so there will be no feeling sharing whatsoever.
Only by Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just the only one trying to break the cultural mold, and you guys are just fucking lockboxing it all in.
I'm trying to break the cultural mold. No. Cut to you doing the...
I mean, how many Down syndrome voices do I have to do before you guys open up to me?
I mean, for real. How many times do I have to put my career on the line for you guys to know that I've invested myself in both of you?
At this point, it's starting to feel like a rock.
No, that's a phone, Brendan. But I would dive into it. But I do have, I do have another short story if you'd like me to get into it.
Yeah, go. I just don't, the Mohegan Sun stuff, I feel like I'll just save for next week because there's too much to start to tease, you know?
But why save for next week when both of you are here?
Because it'll take up the majority of the entire episode, I
So we'll
think.
tease.
And also there's visual aids too that I forgot to send to Alex too and stuff.
Yes.
There's some visual aids that will play better, I think, when we're not like on like the that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But if you have a short story, hit us.
I mean, it's not really good.
All right. Well,
That will be the judge of that.
All right, fine.
yeah.
I mean, it basically, and Brendan hates these types of stories. I've told them to him before, and he gets very grossed out. But I was changing crew the other day, and he's a full blown toddler at this point. He is feeling a lot of feelings at all times. So he's like I described it on my solo podcast yesterday as toddlers are 22-year-old white women, like drunk white women that just did their first bump of coke. Like the emotional swings are so violent and just quick that he'll go from like sunshine, everything, to just hysterical in tears to ripping out his own hair to like everything. Right?
Wow.
It's bananas. So I was changing him the other day, and he's like a big fucking dude. He's really tall. He's 3 feet tall. He's 17 months old. He kicks a lot. He always, for whatever reason, like only with me, just reaches down and tries to like grab his shit, like as like a weird domination thing, I think. But doesn't do it with his mother. Doesn't do it with any female that tries to change him. It's like a pure, I know you got a dick. I got a dick too. So let's do this.
Oh my God.
I know. Brendan, get that face off your face.
I'm reacting to your
I was
story,
laughing,
man.
thinking of how many seconds would go by until Mike called out Brendan's disgusted.
I'm reacting to your
it's not
story, dude.
your kid. You
I know.
don't have to deal with it.
Look, you can't control other people, my friend. You have to react to my reaction.
Okay.
You are.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I did
All right.
react. Yes.
Yeah,
Stop trying to
okay.
control my reaction.
Ew.
All right. So I was, I'm like doing everything I can to distract him. I'm like holding his hand down while trying to like wipe him so he has free reign to touch whatever he touches, because I don't want to shout at him while he's reaching for his balls and give him some crazy conflict that ends up with him inverting his penis later in life. So I'm just doing my best to juggle all of these things. And I literally, so I get the last slop, right? Last big wipe down the middle, and I got a clear view of his asshole, and it goes like just opens, no shit, straight fart, and I screamed like, no! Like that high level woman, like not even a woman, girl at a birthday party that just got molested or something. It was the craziest high pitched fucking screech of my entire life. And he looked at me, died laughing, and then slowed down to a level of disgust. It was like,
It's because he probably knows that when you went, you just sucked in the fart.
Yeah,
and all
I basically took
particles.
a grav bong of his ass juice.
Nice.
I mean, he did.
Grab bong of his ass juice.
Title.
That's fucking
But yeah, I think
hilarious.
it's over. I think he doesn't respect me anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And he did it
I wonder-
twice. I mean, he's been farting like that intentionally. It feels like he's pushing. And I think at some point, I've been asking my friends and they haven't answered. So I think that means they're trying to keep it a surprise. But I believe at some point there's going to be some actual substance behind it.
Yeah. And you can't be like, hey, bud, stop intentionally farting in my face.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, one, he wouldn't understand that. And two, anything I say not to do, he takes it as a personal challenge, much like his father.
Yeah. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
From the
there.
anus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't even be mad at him. It's like, yeah, no, I gave you this.
Oh my God.
I gave you
So
that
Isn't it
asshole
wild
too.
that a baby could get just the subconscious traits of a person without having learned behavior. You know what I mean? It's not like he
Right.
saw you over his short life so far taking things as a direct and personal challenge and going against it no matter what people say. It's just in his DNA to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, me
But
watching him growing up is I've realized that I have not evolved past a childhood step in development of defiance syndrome. I just have still in my heart the toddler that just can't listen to his mama. That's who I am to my core, and it's embarrassing.
Me too, man. Me too. If anybody even says anything, I've been called out on a daily basis of being chill. That's not what I meant. Relax. And I'm like, no, just immediate anger. Have you tried this? Have you tried doing opposite? What's that called?
Reverse psychology.
Yeah, reverse psychology,
psychology.
where you go, hey crew, I love farts in my face. It's how I get off. You should
Yeah.
say to your son, this is how you should say to your toddler
It's
son.
how I come.
Yeah.
But-
Say to your toddler son, fart in my face, kid. That's how I come.
Yeah, remember several years ago when you were a single-celled tadpole swimming up your mom's canal? Well, that's what your farts make me do.
Yeah, you were the closer to an opening fart. So
Yeah, that's how I kept it in. It wasn't on purpose. Nicole farted, and I just didn't pull out in time.
the air made a suction, so it grabbed your dick.
Vacuum seal.
Yeah, she Chinese finger trapped my dick with her snatch.
Through a fart. I mean, is this the
Chinese finger snatch.
What were you gonna say, Brendan?
This is what I think like woke women think are like podcasts that we do are. They think at any moment we're gonna go finger trapping dicks in a snatch with a fart. They're gonna go see
after saying the word retarded 66 times in the first 4 minutes.
See,
which is terrible for YouTube.
If there was ever a like direct, like, I wish we had some sort of composite example of why white guys are problematic, and then they just go like, oh, we didn't have to get to the ads beforehand. It really just put it on a platter for us.
Yeah. Hey, that's not all we talk about. Okay, go backwards about 20 minutes where you go, yeah, I grabbed Bong's ass juice.
Yeah.
The case rests, Your Honor.
The case rests.
I don't know what it is.
Your dad is a lawyer.
I know.
Have you ever gone to a trial with him?
No, because I just have never. One time Jess wanted me. She was like, you should come to a trial when I'm doing it. And I'm like, I will. And I never did.
Oh my God. That's why
that was the one reason why. Yeah, that was her one request to make the relationship work. And you're like,
that would have been cool though. That's like
super cool.
Yeah, that's a good frame of reference for like, I don't know, who knows what would happen.
Sorry. I was just going to say, I've been in the room when she's done like virtual trials and stuff, and she was fucking badass at it.
Yeah.
Scary.
Did it make you a little jumped up?
A little bit.
If I was like told that I could be on like a crazy murder trial and be in the jury, I would absolutely do that. But the problem is with jury duty is like 97% of the time it's like delivery bicyclist clipped by a Honda going 4 miles an hour, and then they need to talk about damages for the next 2 months, and you're like, yeah, I'm not interested in.
Oh yeah.
I told you about when I went to jury duty in Brooklyn. So I've done jury duty in 3 boroughs in New York City since I've lived in Queens, in Manhattan, and Brooklyn. And I basically got just luck of the draw assigned each one, right? Each time I moved, I got reassigned. And when I was in Brooklyn, I just knew the key to how to get out, especially since this was like, at the height of Zuccotti, I guess. So it was like Occupy Wall Street time back then. Mm-hmm. And it was a case of like, some black dude that got caught doing something, and it was him against like word against the cops. And the guy's face was like lumped up as if he just went 12 rounds in a prize fight. Like he got fucked up. And I knew how to get out of it was just like, my first thing was like, yeah, my impulse is to say he's not guilty and these cops used excessive force because I went down to Zuccotti Park and I watched several of my friends get billy clubbed over the forehead for not doing anything. And the guy goes, do you really believe that? The judge, it was like, wow, such a perfect answer that the judge asked, do you really believe that? And I said, yes, sir, I do with all my heart. And then he dismissed me.
Wow, that's crazy that he would even ask that, because I've done the same thing where I was at a trial and it was a slip and fall thing, and my mom has hip problems. So all I said was, my mom has had hip surgery. I didn't even finish the sentence. I went, my mom has and they went, all right, get the fuck out. And I went, peace.
Yeah, same thing with me there was like a bicyclist one, and they were like, is anybody biased? And I'm like, I am. I think bicyclists are always wrong. Like I just was immediately like, I drive a lot and I don't like bicyclists and I often find them guilty. And so they were like, and away you go.
Yeah, and then you you did one of the Tom Cruise high fives to the lawyer, just boom, bam.
Yeah, then I do this.
Yeah, have fun on this trial, nerds.
Yeah.
Do you
and then I get on a bicycle and ride home.
Doing a wheelie.
Yeah, one of those teenagers that go down a narrow New York City street, wheeling the whole time, and you're like, dude, you are a crack in the ground. You are a pothole away from a lifetime of vegetation.
Yeah, but do you know those bikes are especially made for that? They're PK Rippers. They're like big wheeled BMX bikes. So usually BMX bikes are 20 inches, and these have like 24 to 26 inch wheels, and it makes it super easy to hold a wheelie. But some of those kids get so fucking good at that. But I've seen a bunch of them like try to do the thing where they cut last minute and they fucking hit the bumper of a parked car and like spill out into the middle of Atlantic Avenue. It's crazy.
I don't see enough people fall off bikes enough, It's really frustrating. I could go
Oh.
for like a lot more bike crashes.
Yeah. Do you think, well, this was my question. So say New York City just out of nowhere decided it was a carless city. No more cars, no more trucks. Bicycles are allowed. Do you think there would be more pedestrians hit or less?
Significantly more, because the people on bicyclists don't respect traffic lights. They want to be part of the road. They say to car owners, treat us like we're a vehicle, and yet they're like blowing red lights and fucking going the opposite way down one ways and stuff like that. We're like, well, it's like if when we got to a red light, if you fucking stood on your feet and just waited until the light turned, and then when it turned green, you went with the rest of us, then you're like, okay, you're one of us. But when you're like fucking ripping it up and fucking, oh, I hate him. Alex, you hate him too?
Yeah, I almost hit one very recently. Bobby Hutch was in the car. I was parking.
They stink.
Yeah, I was parking over here by the studio, and like I had my signal on. It was very obvious that I was gonna move over right and park or whatever. And some biker came. He was in the bike lane and everything, but like my car was already passing him, and he basically like ran directly into my car, and then he's like banging on the window, being like, "What the fuck?" It was insanity, and I felt kind of bad, but it's their fault. I don't know if if you're tiny and you see something huge coming at you, you should get out of the way, and that's the situation.
Or at the very least, proceed with caution.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way about pedestrians in New York City, where people just fucking walk across the street with reckless abandon, being like, the car will stop for me. You're not trying to get sued, are you? And you're like, dude, it's a health situation. If it's a matter of who wins between your body or the 5,000 pound piece of scrap metal I have screaming down the road, I'm winning.
Yeah.
I mean, I told that story, I think, early in the pod, but every once in a while you hit a bicyclist and it's your fault. But Nicole, we were on, I think, Fulton in Brooklyn, and she was parking. We were going to go into Jimmy Jazz. I was looking for a brand new pair of sneaks, and she just didn't look and just opened the door, and a bicyclist like in Wayne's World hit the door and then fucking just spilled over the car. And he was like so furious, and Nicole started crying. Obviously, she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he was okay. He could have been injured really bad, and he said, "I could have been injured," and she kept profusely apologizing, and then he continued with the argument. And after a minute, I was like, buddy, you got it. Like, we're not going to give you money. You're okay. Continue on, or I'm going to throw your bike into the middle of the road. Like, at this point, there's no winning for you. You've already won. You've gotten the apology. We were incorrect. Everything else you're tacking on is fucking extraneous, and I'm just not going to let you berate my wife in front of me for no reason. That's my job.
Yeah, I wish she hit me.
Yeah, give me an excuse to take it out on her.
I've seen it where people get doored and the whole door like doesn't even close. It's so off the fucking like hinge.
The old Tommy boy.
Yeah. That is such a fucking Chris Farley move. And either to open the door and hit someone, or to get hit going down by a door.
Well, I've definitely told this on the podcast before, but there was my uncle who was in the fucking, they were in Miami, and they were fucking with his friend was driving, and he was in the passenger seat, and they were like, I think they were drinking, and he was like, they were at a red light, and he goes to my uncle like, oh, just go in the trunk and get me a beer. And they were in like the left turning lane, but the other lanes were green, and so they were waiting at that light. And so he's like, can go to the trunk, get us another couple beers. And he's like, now? And he's like, yeah, sure. And he was like, okay. And he like swung open the door, and another car just came by and blasted the door, like the Tommy boy, just right off the fucking thing. And then they made my uncle pay for the door. It's like, it was your fault. You're the one that told me to get out and do it.
And that could have been his leg.
Also, and this is just me, being a little contrarian, Corey here, but he could have looked. He could have like before opening the door.
Well, that's what he did say. He was like, now we're about to be back at the place. Do you want, go get it. Come on, let's go. It was like,
who opens the door without looking to
my wife and Feeney's uncle.
Oh, I guess that's true.
There's
All right,
there's
sorry.
2 examples that we just told you about. Yeah.
Just being a little Corey. Just being a little Corey.
Little CC.
Little CC over
I've
here.
always thought of you as a Corey.
Yeah, you have
Gross.
much more of Corey than Brendan vibes for sure.
Corey?
Corey Sagalow?
Yes.
I could see
Yeah.
Corey
that.
with an I would be
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Alex, do you think he
And
looks
like a
more like
skull.
a Corey or a Brendan?
Yeah,
on
no,
the eye.
I 100% I see a Corey.
Corey
I think I could be
Thomas
any
Sagalow.
name. Thomas? Ew.
That's
I think I
Feeney's
could
middle
be-
name.
I know,
And
that's
I
why I
said
said
it
ew.
intentionally. Oh,
I
no
know.
way you didn't. I
Yes, I
said it
did.
intentionally.
Yes, I did. You don't think I know his name is
I don't
Michael
think you know what mine
Thomas
is.
Shane.
Nope.
What is it?
Shanae.
Sade Betterenwa?
Miguel Shane Conan.
Michael
Cannon.
Shanae Cannon. Canyon.
My name was supposed to be Connor. My parents were set on that shit, and then fucking Eric Clapton's son died.
Connor's
name was
so
Connor?
great.
Yeah.
Oh, so they
Connor
thought that
Sagalow is
you
so
would be
fucking-
destined to crawl out a barless window if your name was Connor.
Fucking idiots. It's like lightning is not going to strike twice there, you fucking dum-dums.
If anything, that's probably the safest name to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst has already happened to Connor.
Yeah. Let's go on a flight on 9/11, babies. Come on.
So weird.
That's
The
so
weird
bad.
like superstition in naming too is so funny. Where people are like, well, we can't do this. We can't name him. We can't name her Jessica because I knew a Jessica once and she was a bitch. And you're like, well, what? That you
Yeah.
could change the narrative.
That's
Yeah,
true, but that is harder to do in your brain than you think. Like remember what I said? I think I was on Bobby's podcast, and I was like, Dawn is a fat girl's name, and then I forgot that his
Oh,
wife was
God.
named Dawn, and I was like, sorry, I just thought of this girl I knew when I was young, and she was fat. It had nothing
It is
to
a
do
fat
with-
girl's name, though. Such a round name.
It is a very like Dawn. Yeah, it's just a heavy walking broad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been a dawn of a new day reading all these 5-star reviews it has because there's so
hell
many
yeah,
of them.
hell yeah.
You guys should be leaving one if you haven't. Leave another one. Keep updating your reviews. Keep
Yeah.
giving it more and more 5 stars.
You know
And
what,
say-
Feeney? Real call to action for real. Right now, if pause the pod, go to iTunes, write us a 5-star review. It's crazy that we're not over 1,000 reviews at this point. We have way more listeners than that. You guys are really great in terms of being interactive with us on social media and all over the place. However, our iTunes reviews should be far more higher. We should be pushed
Staggering.
into the charts every single week. This podcast is spitting flames nonstop, has been all year during quarantine. I mean, it's bananas. So please help. But grassroots.
That was the most
Only you
earnest.
can-
That was
yeah,
the most
so please,
earnest
help.
and like worried call to action I've ever heard.
I'm desperate. Just fucking pause the pod, write a goddamn review, tell a friend, tell more than one, tell your parents, tell anybody that'll listen that this podcast is highly entertaining. And man, I mean, I just went through some of the old clips, Alex. I was just telling Feeney about this. I went through some of the old clips in Ralph's old apartment, and when we were just starting out, and we have a bunch of those up on our YouTube channel, which you should definitely check out. And we've been a funny fucking podcast for a very long time, and I think you should direct people to our YouTube page to give them an example or a sample of whatever you like about the show, and hopefully it translates over to them.
Hell yeah.
And here's a great way to watch all those old episodes by signing up for a Gas Digital Network subscription using the code IGP.
Yes.
2-week free access to all 200 plus episodes of our show, the video, the bonuses, all the other 22 shows on the network, their videos, their back catalogs, their bonuses. It's crazy. It also gives you a discount to podcastmerch.com.
Ooh,
And on through that, you can get hoodies, t-shirts, the works. These hoodies, I will say, now that I finally got them, the Saga, they are both so goddamn comfortable.
Yeah,
I
they're
really,
extremely comfortable. And not to mention,
really
we're
enjoy them.
We're going to come up with even more, one-off shirts. We got the Yes, Very Progress. We're going to have any type of thematic shirts that you guys come up with. Send us ideas. If you hear something on the podcast that triggers, some sort of image for you, let us know. Send in your samples. We'll credit you. We'll put your name up on the pod. We'll give you a shout, all that stuff. So, we love it. We love when our listeners are super interactive and they give us any of their ideas, and we get to kind of build off of your creativity. And if you design a shirt, you know what? Also this, if you design a shirt for us, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for a shirt for you. You get a free one, and we'll send it over to you, and that'll be, we can't pay you because we're scraping by as is, but I will give you a free fucking shirt.
Yeah.
Can that promise be fulfilled, Alex?
Yeah.
All right, great. I wasn't just
100%.
speaking out of my ass.
Also, check out the Tron, right?
What?
Check out the Patreon.
Oh, yeah. We're not even close to done, Brendan.
Oh, sorry. There's still 16 more minutes of plugs.
Yeah, Feeney was going.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
To check out the Patreon, patreon.com/scenario pod. You can sign up for those $5 a month, and that is a podcast to the three of us, and it's a totally different podcast from this. If you want less storytelling and a lot more us answering your direct hypotheticals and what-if questions, that's the place to do it. We will not answer questions on this podcast. Never.
Nope.
Yeah,
it's
so we
not
make
this
our
show.
own questions. Yeah. So, but that's check it out. What's the scenario? And again, patreon.com/scenario pod. And also, if you want to go to MikeFeeneyComedy.com, there's a bunch of fun stuff up there. Not that many dates, so don't worry about that. But you could just go to the youtube.com/MikeFeeneyComedy. And I am Mike Feeney on social media. Check out my videos. I'm making videos every week. Brendan Sagalow we're both just churning them out. Which go up early on the Patreon, by the way, as well as Mike doing his own solo podcast again on the Patreon. So there's a ton of content. We're driving towards that, and you guys should just immerse yourself in the community.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. I got some dates actually. Next week, the 20th through the 23rd, I'm actually going to be with Luis Huevo Gomez at Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club. Very excited. Going to do 4 shows, the 20th through the 23rd. Then the following week, I'm going to film a little ditty. Brendan's going to be with me at Huntington, Long Island. I think you got to be a member of the Paramount Theater to attend. These things always sell out. So this one, may or may not have already sold out, especially with limited seats. And then the 4th through the 6th, I'll be at Comics Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. And, just come on out, buy some tickets. Tickets will be up at MikeCannonComedy.com, or just go directly to the Comedy Club site. And that's very easy as well.
And this is the most important plug, I think, of the week, which is that in just 3 days from now, if you're hearing this on Monday, is when our sweet baby boy Brendan Sagalow's first album ever is going to be released.
It comes out on the 22nd, but it's exclusively being released on Pandora and SiriusXM this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You can check it out. And the best thing that you guys can do for it is if you listen to it on Pandora and it comes up, my little tracks come up, just give it a thumbs up and let Pandora know to keep me on their platform.
That
and
really
pre-order
helps.
it.
The thumbs up on again, all of this is like, if you can't afford the Patreon, if you can't afford Gas Digital Network, it is totally understandable, especially considering the economic times we're all finding ourselves in. But there are free ways to help us and support. Those thumbs up, even though they seem inconsequential to you, it actually helps build the algorithm for us. And the other comedians that you listen to, say you listen to Brendan, then you listen to Bill Burr, then you listen to Joey Diaz or whatever. If you thumbs up all those people together, then Brendan gets lumped in with that algorithm and gets sent out to even more people. So help us all out. If you hear us on Pandora, thumb that shit up and make sure you're doing your free part to help spread the word about us.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to listen to Pandora, like comedy on Pandora all the time, and I would thumb it up just thinking, now Pandora will know what I like.
That's what I would do.
But now that I'm on the other end of that, I realize, it's not even for me. It's for the artist.
You're giving them free marketing. Yeah. It's like having a CVS card. They just want to see what you're buying. It has nothing to do with you saving you money.
It's just collecting my data and whatever. But that's a big help. So if you guys could do that this weekend, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Let's blow it up. And Alex, where can people find you?
Yeah, A-Rod.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Alex Scar, and check out my podcast, Broad Topics, with Kim Congdon, here on Gas Digital Network every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. Or you could catch it for free on iTunes and YouTube every Monday.
And can I say this about Kim really quickly? Last night we're playing Call of Duty. We're playing some video games. Kim decided to do what they call in Twitch a raid onto my channel, which was fucking really cool of her, which basically means she was streaming, and then as she signs off, she took her entire audience that was watching and brought them into my stream, and then all of her followers came in there and were watching and were fucking interacting and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Which is super cool of her. So follow her and me, I guess, on Twitch. She's at Queen Kong, I think it is, with the C.
Yeah,
And,
I'm
wow.
also on Twitch at
NY
Sags to
Freshmaker.
Riches.
Well, I was going to say mine first and then say yours afterwards, but sure.
Ugh.
I'm on
Yeah.
Twitch,
Don't,
but only
don't,
after
Bobby,
I take
don't
Adderall.
Bobby, me.
You're such
I
a
was
little, you're such
literally
a
in the
little
middle of a
princess.
sentence. I was in the middle of a sentence, and
Were
you fucking
ya?
came in like, also, I'm on Twitch, and here's my thing. Steve
I'm enjoying.
Sagalow.
Do you know what I'm enjoying? The frustrations from our own individual lives bleeding into our relationships together, even
Yeah.
though we don't necessarily talk all that much.
We talk. What are you talking about? You're all I talk to. You
Oh, well,
guys are
that's sad because I'd never talk to you ever.
Aw, I call you. I call you.
I called you back.
I know.
Alex,
That's it.
I think
That was 2 weeks
your
ago.
computer's making a wearing sound. That was 2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Maybe
Was it?
longer. It was longer.
We called you on at comics.
And then you said, never mind.
Hey, you know what's happening?
With that in mind, guys, let's get into Bachelorette Brendan, and let's take a look at. We sent out a thing, so obviously we didn't get to record in studio on Thursday, which was going to be the other the timeline for when other people could submit. But the good folks, the good ladies that have been submitting are really on the ball and ready to react at a moment's notice. Alex sent out an email yesterday saying we're actually recording tomorrow. Please compile a 1-minute video, a follow-up to say why you would be our Brendan's best bet. And then I believe, I'm not sure, we may have also a resubmission. Is that correct, Alex?
Hold on. What do you mean a resubmission?
Alex is
All
dead.
she's recording her submission. I'm only assuming.
Alex is doing.
Now, we
Broad
asked her to do
Topics
that.
Putting
in the
makeup
middle.
on.
Yeah, we thought it would be a fun thing where like the audience is asking if, so a couple people did tweet asking if Alex is going to submit a video. And we're like, oh, Alex, that would be super fun if you did your own version of like what Brendan did to you.
If you
Yeah.
did
Then-
exactly what I did, like you walked in front of the camera and had an orange and everything, like just redid the
topless?
whole thing.
Yeah,
No, of
topless
course.
and ate an orange out like it's a box.
Yeah, that would have been fucking hilarious. What are you talking about?
Alex, did you do that?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
And
I'm
that's
sorry,
why, That's why
guys.
we're the comics, you know?
Yeah, I suppose so. So Alex, what do we got in terms of video resubmissions, submissions, anything?
I didn't see the resubmission, but I have it here, and it. What order do you guys want to do this in? Do you want to do the 2 finalists and then look at the resubmission, or maybe?
I think
so
that's the mo-
nervous
I
now.
think
The way
that's
you
the
just
move.
said that.
I think that's the move. I think the resubmission is a pretty. I mean, that's amazing. Did anybody watch it? Do you know if she had heard that she had been eliminated already, or was she just overzealous enough to send in another?
I think she was probably just behind on the podcast and assumed she was still in the running and wanted a second video. However,
Is it KP?
I say we should do the resubmission first and then do the 2 contenders.
I agree.
Because then it's like maybe she'll come back into the fight, into the fold
Okay, maybe
Into
it's
the fray.
middling.
Okay.
once more.
One moment, and our resubmission is from Kendra.
Oh,
Kendra
Brendan.
from
She's-
Portland.
She comes back super mad. She's like, "What the fuck, Brendan?"
Oh
I mean-
my God! Wait, is that really a sign that she has over her bed? That's amazing.
Wow.
I kind of
5 nudes.
want to get a neon sign for my home,
too.
like Michael Scott.
Me too.
St. Pauli
Yeah.
girl just bathed the room in blue light.
Just really like those ones that make your eyes hurt.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
the
Oh my
baby's
God.
crying.
This is exciting. All right, let's
exciting.
hear what Kendra has to say.
Hi. Since you liked my kitchen so much, last time I thought I'd show you my room. I'm not gonna lie, the rejection hurt, but a trait we both share is persistence. So here am again. And I totally get it.
Oh.
Samantha and Jenna are hot. But I'm gonna let you know why we're a good match. First of all, it'd be good for your ego. I think you're funny and hot, and I'm gonna tell you all the time. I'm gonna make you laugh. I give really good massages, and I'm very independent. You got your thing going on, I got my thing going on. I'm in therapy. You're in therapy. We're becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Wow.
I like to
She's
bake
back in.
and cook. I'm bring you food all the time.
Whoa.
Bring you
And
food.
I get it. The other lovely ladies live close by, but I'm going to be in New York very soon. And lastly, I wish I would have not shown my ass in the last video because my best asset is really my tits. And I'm happy to send you a DM of them. So best of luck to the ladies and check out my second bio. Thanks.
Now
Whoa.
here's
Wow.
She's back in.
Now here's my only
in.
issue. Since this is an
Tattoos
Irish goodbye,
galore.
since this is an Irish goodbye podcast production, we need to all see her tits.
Yeah. I agree. We're like sisters, you know?
Yeah, we have to have the input of the hosts.
Yeah, send them over. I'd love to,
See your tits.
see your tits. I know. I can't sugarcoat it. I'd love to, ma'am.
Your memories.
Your man. Yeah.
She also had she's got a lot of tattoos too, so you guys got that in common.
She's
Got a lot
cute
of
as
arms.
shit, dude. And I
She's
gotta
cute.
say, her personality is fucking award winning.
It's a 10.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Oh, here is my second bio addressing some concerns about my previous video. Great. The sex
Okay.
educator thing is not a worry. I'm sex positive and a very sexual person. Studying and working in the field has never caused me to not be interested in personal pleasure. I mean, it's
It's good. Very
thorough,
important.
really well written. She's smart. I like this girl. I can't believe this smart person wants to date our Brendan.
That's her
Alex-
fault, but we're gonna
Alex
power
couldn't
through.
help
Alex
it in.
unmuted. She unmuted for it.
Alex, what have I ever done to you?
Brendan, I think you're fantastic. I think you
Oh,
made,
here we go. Here's
I
that.
think you
Speaking
made
of
a,
bikes, someone's backpedaling.
I think you made a mistake by not selecting her last week. I think she's my favorite of the bunch, to be honest. I could see
wow.
you guys getting along really well. I don't know. I
could
think
see
you're a
them
good match.
together.
Yeah,
I can
I
see
think
them
you're
Especially-
together.
Especially with all the people that if there's one thing you hate, Brendan, it's people, busting your balls and shitting on you and stuff. And she's like literally just a beacon of positivity, being like,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you you're funny and hot every single day. And you're
Yeah,
like, well, that's
that
all
is-
anybody's looking for.
She
Yeah.
also
I
she
feel
seems
so
like
alone.
she walks a good line between.
Sorry, hang on, Alex. That was where
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, where did that go?
I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Let's
I
just
feel
keep
so
going.
I don't
Let's just
think
keep-
your lips, I don't even think your mouth was moving when you said that. It was like, it came from like your throat. Hold on.
I feel so alone.
your Jiminy Cricket said it from your esophagus.
Yeah. Let's go back to that bio. I want to see more of this bio here.
Oh,
The next paragraph, because there's a couple more paragraphs here for the audio listener, says, I have no idea how I got banned from Tinder. It's either because I reported a dude who was being an absolute creep. That's never how you get banned. Or because I posted a pic of me
Yeah, what?
holding a dildo.
Yes.
So then that's for sure it. Tinder has no appeal process, so I'm banned. Thanks for all your kind words. You guys are hilarious, and I'm a fan
Tinder
of the Irish
sucks
Goodbye
anyway.
podcast.
what is Tinder owned by Instagram?
Yeah.
TikTok, probably.
That's
The way
fucking
it
bullshit.
bans people.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy.
I mean, yeah,
But that's
it's definitely the dildo for sure. It sucks that you can't show, even a toy phallus. Like, what do they think you're doing on that thing?
so. I know that if I were Brendan as well, a major sticking point for me would be the fact that it's across. She lives too far away. I mean, it's
But she's
just
moving
no-
to New
You
York.
said she was coming to New York.
But that was the second half of the sentence, is that she is moving. So it does seem like there's some real possibilities here. But Brendan, what are your thoughts?
I think she's back in. baby. She really took a risk, which I love. She showed me boobs. She offered to show me more boobs.
Yeah.
Which
Show up to show you nipples.
That's the way to my heart.
Yeah.
Where boobs are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's back in. She's back in. This might be a
Wow.
a crazy comeback.
This is a real shakeup. This is a real
Kendra.
shakeup. So just like happened with Luke in the Bachelorette Alex, but now
That's right.
Now let's go on to the two people who we thought were the only finalists, and
They're gonna have to fucking do Ace Ventura with their pussy lips to beat that because
just the entire movie.
Excuse me, I'd like to take you out on a date. Do you have a mint?
it's just the same thing.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
This is Jenna.
Oh,
Jenna.
That's right.
Who's the closest? Who's the closest
chicks.
of all three? She's like
she's a couple blocks from me.
Yeah, you probably heard her recording this in her apartment.
She's looking at us through my window right
Yeah.
now.
All right, let's see. She's got a rose. Let's see
She
it.
does.
Hi, Brendan. Thanks for my rose. I don't deserve it because I gave you an audio-less submission for a podcast, which should disqualify me as a person. But here I am, so I'm gonna, instead of telling you why you should like me or telling you why I might like you, I'm gonna demonstrate our compatibility.
Wow.
Okay,
She just starts going, I'm gay.
We be reuniting. Touch me, kiss me, teasing me, excited. Got the devil who is who. I can't get through to you because I can't keep on losing you. Over complications, gone too soon. Wait, we was just hanging. I can't seem to hold on to. Dang. People who know me best, key that I won't possess. Too soon, I can't keep on losing you. Every time you delete the app, we unmatch. So I can't keep on losing you. How many times can a girl be rejected digitally? At least 3.
And then Irish goodbyes out.
Wow.
I mean, so many things. So
I'm
many
sweating.
things.
My hands are sweating.
Dude,
Number
you're sweating.
one, was
Yeah.
that first
Oh,
off?
I'm not.
Was that Adele's voice? I mean, that was a beautiful, powerful, bassy. The keys they played in, it seems like
Yeah.
the
Hey.
key of like it sounds like
be
Brendan's
safe.
personality. It's just like it's like low and brooding, but it's like it's gentle and soft. It's very
That's
like
the nicest thing you've ever said about me.
Yes. You
Seriously,
said
that was very
Brenda
nice.
low and brooding.
Yeah.
the melody. Yeah, like
Oh,
the
right.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just. I mean, the lyrics were fun. Original. I love the. I mean,
Yeah.
her voice is incredible. I mean,
She's got a great voice. She also did she has some real performance chops because she did the kind of like half look up through her
Yeah.
over her glasses at the screen, was playing softly, pushed extra hard at certain parts. I mean, I got flow downstairs.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's into space because she's got a whole space like curtain thing going on in the background of her apartment.
Space
So
is pretty great.
Space
You know,
is cool, dude.
she smokes. And I like that she's not too concerned with like the whole celebrity of this whole thing because she's got her ring light behind her, which is just backlighting her. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a way to. It's the opposite of where it should be. But that's what I kind of like about it too. She's breaking all the conventional norms.
Yeah.
That was great. What a submission.
Holy
I will
shit.
say, it did make me sweat having to see someone sing at me because, that makes me uncomfortable when
That level of intimacy.
yes, but like I would give that kind of level of intimacy in a heartbeat, but being on the other end of it where I'm just like, sitting
Writing
there,
someone an original song. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Do you know
Yeah.
what's lost in all this, Feeney? Is is Brendan should, and at some point I hope he does, thank us for funneling all of this positivity at him, because we have established this entire competition for Brendan and all of that. Granted, these people are out there regardless. However, this is a concentrated dose.
It's very
of
nice
love for Brendan, and I think it's overlooked often when he, kind of approaches things with us in a sour mood.
Okay. I would look at it as
like that.
a really nice. This is very nice. Thank you very much. I think after years of abuse, I do deserve
I really, you know what? I had a planned speech for the next time you said that, and I'm just not going to
give the speech, baby.
I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give it because a lot of it is very
me and give me a
personal.
speech.
The competition's over.
Call me.
I will call you because, dear God, is that just absolute nonsense? Brendan has painted this picture of
it's
abuse,
not a painted
and
picture.
It is a painted picture by numbers, and it's just for the show, the abuse, because everything else.
All right.
Everything else
we'll
is
talk on the
real
phone.
empathy. Brendan, how many conversations have we had of late where I have offered actual friend advice?
Of course.
Right, of course. And how many times have you asked me?
Friends.
And how many times have you asked me what it's like to raise a son in the middle of a pandemic while my career is crumbling down? And how many times have you called to check in on me personally? And
I call you all the time.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. I only call you. You never call me.
You fucking crumb bum. 3 weeks
always
ago.
Call you.
And before that, it's been months. But we used to talk a lot at the beginning of this thing, and like a lot of friendships in the beginning of the quarantine, this one just didn't make the cut.
Mike, what you're leaving out is that when Brendan was calling you and asking you how is it like to raise a kid and stuff like that, it's because he's working on this really funny bit about raising a kid in New York City.
That's funny.
He needed
That's
more,
really funny. But
he
when
needed,
I do
like,
call
the
you,
intel.
I do call you, and I ask about crew and everything. I'm not a heartless
but you
monster.
don't
that's
ask
just
about me.
You
don't ask how I'm doing.
Yes, I do, dude.
No,
yes, I do.
I give
and
you
I tell you
advice
I
and
love
empathy.
you every single time.
That's not true at all.
Yes,
you
it
probably
is.
say it in your brain. I believe that you do, and I know that you do love me. However, you do not verbalize your feelings very often at all. And I feel like,
that is hard for
especially
me.
as of late, I am very open, honest, empathetic, and vulnerable with you when you need it the most, especially when I'm giving you some sort of advice that you ask for. I'm not just barking orders at you.
I understand. I will be. I will say how I feel, especially in a loving way, more often.
Thank you. This is a breakthrough on an Irish podcast.
I'm more shocked that I couldn't believe this was where this ended up going. But it turned into we deserve thanks and then into a blowout fight. But I think that
Feeney,
we all have to choose.
I'm now the last contestant.
You win.
But I do think that I didn't even think that was the direction you were heading with that, Cannon. I thought you were going to say, and what I do think more so than thanking us or anything like that, which is a nice gesture. And
I mean, I was kidding about that.
But I do think that you should send a thank you to these women for submitting, regardless of whether you pick them or not.
Of course, I'm gonna send a thank you to KP. I'm gonna send a thank you to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send little cards.
We got one more submission.
We have a little bit more about Jenna.
Oh, okay, great. From Long Island.
Oh.
Just back from Cali after 10 years, so she got that nice Cali energy. I like that.
Musician with a desk job. Nice.
Okay.
Hobbies, new age activist. I wonder what that means. Does that mean she's into psychedelics and like kind of spirituality, or does that mean like she's
activist? I'm picturing like she's like protesting.
I don't know though, because I think a lot of people like when we were on Rabbit Hole and we were talking about like mushrooms and how it expanded our empathy and, shattered our ego and all that shit, people actually referred to us as activists for psychedelics, which I always hated and never repeated. But that, just because it could redefine what that means. I would be interested to see what that means.
Magical manifester, another thing those are just two words that's just an alliteration. Frequent performer, drop and go traveler, sound obsessed music head, meditator, yogi, and crystal bitch. Here's the thing, Brendan, again, having seen his act, not a fan of the crystals or the crystal ladies, so that last one might be a knock against you. But I do think as a person who meditates and as a yogi, she could teach you some mental
I'm always
mental
willing to learn,
exercises.
yes. Yes.
And
Are
I
you
write
really not-
love songs.
What bothers you about crystals the most?
Nothing. It's I make fun of it in my act sometimes, but like I don't care. I just don't believe in it. I think it's
Sure.
silly, but
Yeah. I mean, there's one thing not to believe in it, and there's one thing to be like, completely thrown and just taken away. Like, I don't believe in Jesus, but anytime somebody wears a crucifix, I'm not, slapping them in the face.
of course. I mean, we also like, if I'm getting up on stage, I'm going to say like, man, anybody who uses crystals is gay, blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm not going to be completely level-headed about it, because what's funny about that,
Well, that might have taken you out of contention with this new age activist calling.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So, Brendan, now in between.
Oh, someone's got pebbles.
Wow.
Yeah.
The craziest thing is that those are freeze-dried testicles of all.
Of all of the contestants from The Bachelorette.
Now
she turned Greg's balls into malachite.
Yeah. So, Brendan, right now, before seeing this last video, the Kendra Jenna thing, is it a neck and neck race? Is one edging?
So
You don't have to
neck
tell
and
us
neck,
who,
man.
but okay, it's neck and neck.
I'm so nervous, and like this is such a hard decision.
You're gonna have to crush two people today.
Yeah, with my bare hands. But I'm just gonna say this. Whatever happens, just keep, send me nudes, whatever you want. I don't care. It's all a game. This is all a game.
Problematic straight white male podcast, minute 52. Solicits nudes from women looking for love. Openly and unapologetically solicits nudes.
I think my tone had a little bit of apologetic in it.
Well, and that anybody that buys crystals has a weakness for hucksters, so she'll send right away.
For sure. Yeah, I'll send you a leash.
So we got one last video. Let's cue it up.
Okay.
I had some pretty good ideas to put me over the top for finals, but then I remembered I've recommended this podcast to a lot of friends and family, so kind of got to keep it PG. Brendan, I know Jersey's a little bit of a hike, but I do have a car and a license, and I do live close to 2 train stations, so there's that. I don't mind taking the trip to New York. I would actually love for you to show me the New York comedy scene. I've seen shows in AC and Philly, so I would really like to see what's going on out there. I think distance is actually kind of a good thing. We can have our own lives, and then when we get together, we can have some fun, and I won't be up your ass all the time, because...
Wow.
All right.
She must have told so many people to listen to this show. I mean, it's like,
That's going to make this a lot worse for you.
Yeah. Oh no!
Because I gotta say,
I'm kidding.
obviously, the softest of submissions so far. It's
Yes.
good reasoning. Like, her reasoning is
Of course.
actually it's solid and good, and she's everything that she was in the first submission, which is beautiful, cool, and breasts. But it's funny that like she's like, now that I've told my cousins that I'm in this thing, I can't show who I am.
Yeah, Brendan, what are your reactions?
Definitely the softest. I mean, you should have said, hey, I told my cousins, I told everybody listen to this, and then flashed us. That would have been fucking awesome.
Punk rock.
That would have been
would've
so punk rock. I think this was.
She didn't send another bio also.
That's fine.
So we got, no, I know it's fine. However, I just do want to remind you of the effort that the other two went through where, one was song, the other was nude kind of. But we did get a long email from her last time with
with all those photos.
Yeah. She hasn't like lost points. But
No, not at all. Not at all.
She just hasn't gained any.
Well, I will say I'm going to hit a couple of points here. Her living in Jersey. I love Jersey. Obviously, I lived there for a while, but that's not like a oh boy kind of situation. You know what I mean? The trains. You guys know I dated a girl who I had to take a train for years, and I can do it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. Is take a train, go to another state, go to a fucking thing. Whatever.
So when you date somebody, you like you're not like a distance guy. Like that does sound, because to some people that we're not up each other's ass. For Alex, that was really appetizing, like when other people are like, and then we come together and we bang and then we do our separate thing. And like for somebody like Alex, that's really, you know, what she's looking for. But for you like the idea of being smothered with compliments and attention.
Yeah, I do like affection and everything. I also don't want to be up anyone's ass, and I don't want anyone up my ass, obviously. But it's hard enough trying to date a girl in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, we got to fucking go out there. So, you know, it's whatever. Her coming to New York, that's great. Her saying that she wants me to show her around the comedy scene, not very appetizing. I would, but what's, by the way, what comedy scene is it now? Hey, do you want to check out this park? You know?
She's like,
sorry, I don't have the elevator code to get to that rooftop.
So, but again, the effort is just putting in the effort of sending the email and being very nice is also a huge win for everybody. For sure.
And it's interesting because I would have guessed, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that pre this episode that she was had a slight lead
front runner.
She was the front runner. So
Vegas odds were in her favor. Yeah.
Well, so now I'm kind of curious if that is in any way, because we can get right into it. I mean, let's start narrowing down. I mean, this is the moment. This is the rose ceremony here. You know, you got to take all of the things into account here. Let's maybe go from like, you know, who you're going to eliminate. Let's eliminate one, and then we'll do a dramatic pause, and then we'll eliminate one more, and then that'll be the winner. But also, first off, I just want to say a thank you again to everybody who submitted and resubmitted. I mean, you're all great. We love that you listen to the podcast. So we love that it's an incredible amount of vulnerability and courage takes to put yourself out there, to be at the mercy of either being mocked or talked about or whatever the hell. And
you're all
ladies,
cool.
You ladies are the shit. So
you ladies and KP are cool as shit.
Yeah. So Brendan, talk us through it, baby.
Dude, I just realized we should have fucking picked KP, so we had to send in another fucking video.
Oh, we can just tell him that it's gonna continue going next week. He has no idea. We'll just play.
He has no idea what's happening. You know, he's watching on like so anxious.
Yeah.
Holding his little rose.
Yeah. So let's start trying to figure how are you going to make this tough decision.
Well, I'm going to try and be myself and be as present with my thoughts as possible.
Okay, talk us through it.
Everybody's awesome. I feel like a fucking dildo for even judging these amazing women. For me, I mean, I just got a bed frame. You guys are investing in the wrong guy here.
No, that means you're on the way
don't
up.
We know it? We invested 3 episodes.
and another podcast.
Yeah. Damn.
Kendra was awesome. She was very cool. I like her style. I liked her kitchen. I liked her room was cool.
Good energy.
Great energy. So positive.
Really smart.
Insanely smart. Great tattoos. Really hot. Great teach. Nice
great
ass.
Tattoos, great tatas.
Great tatas. The Portland thing, obviously, that's a problem.
But she is moving.
She is moving.
Yeah.
So, DMs are open. Just, why don't you pack your bags first before we,
So are you eliminating her?
Kendra's out.
Re-eliminated.
Oh, wow. Re-eliminated. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I know.
Alex is pissed. She even typed a long capital what in the chat after verbalizing it.
Rejection's awful, and I hate doing this, and my hands are sweating. Again, everybody's
Kendra,
great.
Use strength. Use your courage.
You're great.
Thanks for listening to the show, and you always have a home with Irish Goodbye Podcast, more so than Garbage Days.
Please listen to Garbage Days.
I will date you.
There you go.
Sweet. Nothing to worry about on my end. Now we got a little scissor me timbers happening. So anyway, Kendra.
Who was that at? Yourself?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm having a panic attack. I think this is so hard.
Your microphone is so shiny all of a sudden.
It's drenched in sweat. His microphone looks like it's shooting free throws in the playoffs.
So clammy. I'm so clammy.
All right, so we're down to the final 2. We have Jenna and what's the
Samantha.
other? Samantha.
And what do we call her? We call her Sweet
Sammy Sweetheart.
Wow,
Sammy
what
Sweetheart.
what are the odds that we have all three end in A? Well, I know AH is one of them, but it's Kendra, Jenna, Samantha.
Mhm.
Okay. Samantha is super cool. She was the running for a very long time. But again, the Jersey thing, it's like,
It's like
not
you
be-
don't
not
live
because you're
around
from
the corner.
Jersey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm laughing thinking about how Alex had a serious running with a guy in Amsterdam. And Brendan's like, Jersey? Where is he? Where are you, Guam?
I'm just not gonna go there. You know,
Yeah.
I feel terrible. I just got out of a relationship or even whatever. I'm not, whatever. But like,
You did a long-term thing, and you're not looking
long-term
to
kind
re-
of.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like, so she was great. She's out. She's super hot. Again, DMs still open. Ladies, none of this matters.
His position could be swayed.
Yeah.
I could be totally swayed by, by the way, your cousins aren't looking at my DMs. So,
Oh my God.
So the
yes,
winner,
it's how we do.
the
So-
winner of Bachelor, Brendan. What you're supposed to do is
Yes.
announce the winner and not the second place, because now it's already.
There's no build
It's
up
already revealed.
whatsoever.
I don't watch it. I don't watch the show, so sorry about that. But yes, the winner is Jenna. We matched on Tinder.
Jenna, congratulations! You're the winner of Bachelor, Brendan.
She's an artist. I like artists.
She sung you a song. Did the song sway you?
She wrote
No.
you a song.
No, the song didn't do anything for me.
What?
Sorry, song didn't do nothing.
The song didn't do anything for me. You were not in first place last time. You came up with a creative, original song, but at the end of the day, I realized, as a man of intense laziness, you were the closest.
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.